this is Dave with MTV Discount. We're ready to mount up our shifters now that we've got the derailleurs done. We're going to be doing the SRAM X0 2x10 to go obviously with our derailleurs. So we're going to be using the matchmaker levers. So you need a T25 Torx and the shifter basically. So we're doing the rear first. And you just basically thread it in. It'll couple with the brakes and mix for a little bit cleaner bar setup, especially with the dropper post or maybe any suspension lockouts you may have. So now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and do the housing. And since we've got, this is a fully housed layout that Santa Cruz has, so we're going to have to actually measure the housing from the shifter all the way down the line here, across, leaving some slack for the suspension to travel, and then down the rear triangle and back. So what we're going to do is basically start running the length and see what we've got. We'll have to cut our own, and I'll show you how to do that and to install the cable. We did get the shifter mounted up. We actually fed the housing, and you can see this is a full housing again, and where we've got the zip ties is where we kind of mounted it, measured it up to length, and then put a ferrule on the end. So now we're going to just cut this final top piece to the length. And again, we're using our cable cutter, housing cutters here. They don't squeeze the cable as bad. And then when you get that done, just take a set of pliers, kind of round it out a little bit, and that'll alleviate any friction on the cable. And if you need to, you can take a little bit of a boring tool and just kind of clean out that inside housing. Again, just to make sure that the cable runs smooth. So then we're going to take and add a ferrule to the top. And we're using a 5mm housing, which is the outside diameter. And then you're going to have to unwrap this cable. They've got it nice and tightly looped here so that you don't have it dangling about. But once we get ready to feed the cable through, we're going to go ahead and untangle it. But this is a Teflon coated cable, so there's no need to lube it. And this is what comes with the X0 shifters. So next up, we're just going to go ahead and feed it through the housing. So again, they've got the end here, kind of run it through. And since this is a full-length housing, it's going to be fairly straightforward. When we get to the end, if it doesn't feed out through the end, we're going to go ahead and have to pull it and just try and feed it through that last ferrule. But again, should be pretty straightforward. And there we go. Cable feeding out the end. And then drop the end into the barrel adjustment. Make sure it's routed properly. So that end is done. Move to the back. We're going to go ahead and bring this around, feed it through, and then use a number 5 hex, feed it through the slot there. And so now we know we've got about this length. And the one thing I like to do before I actually cut it, or before I crimp it down, is to cut it because there's no tension on it. And again, using the cable cutters, because when you have tension on it, it tends to unspool. So leave a little extra there for any adjustments we may need. Nice clean end. And then we're going to want to take it and put a little cable cap on there before we clamp it down to keep it from fraying. So just kind of bite it down there a little bit so it stays put. And then feed it through so it's snug but not too tight. And then we'll go ahead and start with the adjustments. on the derailleur. So there we go. That's it for setting up the cable and the housing. We've got it all set up to go on our rear derailleur. Now we're going to have to go ahead and just adjust the rear derailleur, so check out our tech tip for rear derailleur adjustments. Next we're going to go ahead and run the front housing. Very similar, obviously. Just check the routing. We've got a dual pull, either top or bottom pull derailleur, high clamp, and so we're going to route ours through the top, and I'll go ahead and show you how to do that here quickly. So.